G'day guys, Sam here from Melbourne, Australia, from Off Trade to Prosper. I'm going to just cover pretty much Ethereum if you're interested, looking at the big picture, looking at the back, looking at the past, and see what we can leverage in terms of trading, and then go from there. So this is not going to be a long video or stream. It's just pretty much focused on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and see what we can do in terms of long-term strategy. So I've got two charts, and if you look at the history of the two charts, well, this one's the macro chart, and what I've put forward there is the macro perspective, and it's a bearish perspective. Obviously, there's conditions to how we approach this market. Just because I put that there doesn't mean I'm going to be fixed to it or not flexible with my mind. It is just a line in the sand where things could line up. So there is worst case scenarios and there's also opportunities. And what we want to do is look at what we can learn from the past. Now, what I've done yesterday, and you probably, if you haven't seen that stream, is time frames. So I'll just quickly go with the time frame strategy and give you an idea what that means. So what I did was I measured time for that to come down from the top to the bottom, and all for the bull market to start, and the time to take for the bull run to finish. So in that perspective, you can see the time it took roughly to make that bull run top is roughly the time it takes for the bear market to finish. Okay, so that's one example there, and you can look at yesterday's video. Here we can say it took this long to get to the top, and roughly it's going to take that long. We'll put that top there. It's roughly going to be a means of measuring how long it will take for this bear market to finish, and we've got something like July. Okay, so it's just a line in the sand. Not saying it's going to be perfect, just a guess. But Bitcoin has shown very similar results, and it's something that we should just keep in mind, that this bear market, and it is a bear market. If you don't understand, we are going down. The question is how far we'll go down, and when is it likely to finish? So if we had this scenario where we had one, okay, I didn't get the vertical one there. Give me a sec. So this is you can say that's the bottom, and we had this COVID scenario. So we won't look at the bottom in the sense of how much it's compared to the previous. We just know it's ABC bottom. Okay, so that was our macro move, ABC. We have the wave 5 count from here to all the way to the top. So I'm not going to be really anal about it. That's a wave 5 count and the ABC correction. So we have a wave 5 count in this way. We have two ABC corrections in a way. If we were to do this, A, B, and C, and then you've got the bigger correction if you integrate. So we've got wave 5 all the way there. Now we're doing basically a correction wave. You can call it bear market or a correction wave. I am bullish at the big macro. I do see this going really high. Who knows where? But that's another discussion altogether. Now, how do we approach this market? First thing is we accept that it is a downtrend. When you trade downtrend, you look at what is that you can trade with, and pretty much look for shorts. I wouldn't be looking for longs. So looking for short entries is what my goal is, until I feel like that is the bottom. And people are calling this the bottom because of the RSI. But if you look at this scenario where we had a capitulation This was a drop. This was a strong drop. We had that bottom, roughly the same. We had this bounce and another drop. So let's get in closer, okay? So let's look at, let's zoom in just for the historical perspective. Just give you an idea of what takes place. So what we're looking at, and what we're looking at is a fractal that we're looking for, and how we trade this market from the basically learning the lessons from the past. So you can see that, and I'll change the color because it's so that this trend line is a macro support line, and the moment we broke it, we went bearish all the way down. Okay, that is you can't argue with that. And now I will bring it back to today's date. What we had in this episode, we had a drop, a strong drop, a bit of a bounce, another strong drop, which is really taking it to the bottom. And we're almost there for Ethereum, almost. And then we have this bear flag. And then we have this another capitulation, and that's what we're looking for. So that will complete our wave 5. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? Makes sense? So now we're going to bring that kind of lesson. We won't talk about this yet. That we'll come back to that. I just want to get this part covered. So we go back to today. That's what I'm sure you're looking at. And let's just get rid of this. So you can see this macro trend line where we had support all along here and eventually given up. And you can see the moving averages. So what we have here, let me see that one. That's a 50 and 100 EMA, which tends to be acting as resistance along the way. Now what we look over here, we have the same situation, similar. Support, support, support. What happens when we break that level? You see the capitulation. This is no different. Yep. So we're going our wave 1, 2, 3, stop. And can it be there? I've measured something here, which is the 1, and potentially that's a 0. So if that's my target, so far so good. That 0.5 might come into. So I'm making the assumption that's the bottom, and you can see it's confluent with the 200 weekly moving average as well, and that one is the SMA. So it seems to be taking the same pattern. We might have a bounce. The RSI sort of supports that. We might get a bounce and then back down again. So we're looking at movements and then back further down. And I think this is where we get the capitulation. We can have a number of levels, this being the worst, but now we're going to look at it in a closer format. So I'll go to the second chart. This chart has a lot of detail with the fib fans, and if you look at it carefully, it does play a good role. You can see that the fib fan reference is there. That fib fan acted as support, and when we broke that level, it acted as resistance. So we came down recently, found that as resistance, and dropped, capitulated. And you can see this fib fan, that level, pretty much another. You can also look at it as a Fibonacci level, act as resistance, and you can see the moving averages taking place. And if you ever look so close, you can see this fib fan, even there, playing a role. Even the support there, resistance there. So it's there, doing its role. It's relevant. Now, why am I talking about the fib fan? Well, it can come into play. So now I've got the next macro fib fan, which is this blue line. And we've got the 200 moving average. Which one's that one? It's the weekly, but which one is it? It's that one there. And why am I not? Just give me a sec. No, I don't want to do that. I want to get the argument. Okay. So that's the SMA as well. Yep. So we have two perspectives here. And if I could show you that, see this, let's just get rid of this for a sec. What I want to do is, let's see, close all that. So I've got it all lined up. Now what we're going to do is show you the macro Fibonacci. The macro Fibonacci takes the bottom as 0, the top as 1. We've got the 0.68, which is my custom one, and the 0.618. So these are the dark lines, as you can see. We also have, and we can put this in, reference 0, that's our reference 1, and see if that comes into play. So it's almost, so what we have here is 2 levels on the previous high, that one there as well. Now we're going to have a closer look to see how that comes into play. Meanwhile, I'll just grab my tea. And what I want to show you is, look closely, that was my target with the weekly support, and it might still get there. We've got this Fibonacci there, which is, so we've got the 618 with the Fib extension and the weekly support. So you might sometimes it just doesn't get there, but I do believe roughly we're almost there. Maybe not. That might be the case with this grey line. Well, let's see what that one is. Okay, that was that previous all-time high. No, that's my Fibonacci. Yeah, so that's a macro fib. That's acting as support. Okay, there you go. So that's found that Fibonacci level as support. And here, what I did was I got this structure's height and the breakout from there. So if we look at this as a structure, a bear flag it is. Yep, that's our bear flag. I've got the height of that bear flag and I applied it to the breakout. So that's why I got a lot of confidence to that little bottom level. As okay, why is my okay? That's this one here. I've got to get rid of that. Elliott, where's the Elliott wave? That's just coming in the way. So we are pretty much at a good support level now. Very close. That was my target. It seems to be on the daily there. So let's go on the 4 hour. It might come down a bit more. So we've got that fib level. So realistically, that is pretty much hit the target from that perspective. Ideally, yeah, it's not much, is it? 1400 to 1450. So I do think that we're going to find support there. You can see how the Fibonacci actually plays support there. If I do it perfectly, that's actually the bounce. So I do see that this is going to be support, and it's going to range. And similarly to this level, we might get a bounce and we get a bear flag. So here we're going to get a bear flag of continuation pattern. I don't see this going reversal and then spillover, and we'll see what it is. We've got a number of levels potentially, and last time it dropped So this took, let's have a look at how long that took. Date, from that perspective, it took 70 days, 60, 70 days. Okay. So we could be here for a while as well. So it's another potential, patient bearing trading method, sideways trading. And yeah, that sucks. So we're going to be here for a while. I don't think we're going to have a reversal at this level, but that is going by historical data. But we just take it as it comes. That's just the line in the sand. We don't know, but I do see this here, potentially this range. I think this is the range, and before we finish with that range, well, after that we finish with that range, I do believe, wherever the case may be, we drop further. Now we have that level, and we have that extreme level. Now, from the date, this is the 5-day chart, and the 5-day chart is showing us that it's still completely downward momentum. Where do we see a potential? We can look at the short time frames, but what we see is a bottom formation there that was previously done, and I'll expect a bottoming formation to come out going sideways with bullish divergence and then taking on. So I think we're close to the bottom with Ethereum, and that's based on this at the moment. Is it time to go in? No. Now, what is Bitcoin doing? So we need to make sure Bitcoin is doing something similar as well. So just give me a second while I drag the Bitcoin chart. Where is it? Where is it? I've got a few browsers open, so I'm just going to check each one. Oops. Where's my Bitcoin? There we go, we've got Bitcoin there. So, okay. So Bitcoin has found a 200 weekly moving average. So I do see this as support. And is it a reversal? It might be. So I can take that away. Based on Ethereum, I think this could be doing a bottoming formation. It's just that this might be the support level. So that we had that sell-off. Where is it? We had that right there. We had our selling climax, and we had an automatic response. We had a second up thrust. So if you know the Wyckoff method, automatic response, second test, up thrust. Now this could factor in a level, but I do still see that this could come down a bit more. We might just get a reversal here. I do like to see the second test. This area could be our second test before we go back up. And yeah, I do think, look, I'm pretty confident this, if it comes down here, we'll get a reversal. I'm looking at, and this sort of lines up with Ethereum's support level right now. And this will go up and Ethereum will go sideways. It doesn't make sense. And if we're to drop, it's fine. This is a bearish divergence. So you can see from this RSI that we've already broken that trend line. And that's why we've got this pushed to the downside. Question is it going to turn from here? Why my screen is moving? I don't know why. So this is a clear reason why we dropped the price today. I'm looking for a bounce and potentially another bottom, and I'll use the MACD, and I think we might get a line there potentially where Bitcoin just keeps going, or the RSI actually does this type of thing, just keeps climbing up, and we can get a macro formation like that. And I would be looking at these 200 daily moving averages to be pretty much in line with this trend line, resistance trend line, and then back down again. Yeah, so this is a bit of accumulation. I think we lost this top half. We've still got that second half, and then yeah, we could potentially keep going that way. So how do we? I do think that we're close to the bottom, put it that way. But we got also the CPI announcement, interest rates announcement. I think next week, is it? Not sure. That could make a difference. So we've got the CPI 8.6 announcement, which pretty much forced that price. That wasn't a good result, and Bitcoin dropped its price. Weekend, Sunday, it's usually a sell-off. I think this is support. I think we'll find a bit of a bounce, and maybe potentially going further down. Either this level, that range, I'm pretty comfortable with to find an entry, and that fills in our potentially. If you look at it from this perspective, you got that trend line. So I'll get rid of that for a sec. This is a selling climax, another selling climax potentially, which could go down there, and I would have some orders there, but I don't think it might. I don't think it will get there unless we get some bad news again. Why is this moving? Okay, so this trend line to me is coming to play. We've got our few points, very similar to the top. I need to fix that line up. Yep. And so very close to the fib level, macro fib level as well. So what have I got there? Macro fib level. Oh, it's not there. I do see it playing that structure here. I do think we are going to find a reversal of some sort, either here or that layer. Not far, not going to go far. We might come down here, might break out this trend line, bit of a fake out, and then back down again. That's why we need to use the RSI. And so this is the daily. Historically, when we did the daily, times like when that breaks out, that's when you go in. At the moment, we are below the moving average, and so it's bearish. I would tend to think you'll find a reversal. But anyway, that's with Bitcoin. I'm really rattling off Bitcoin. I need to get back to Ethereum. So Ethereum, in that sense, is finding support, and we'll probably see a reversal candle here or two, and then we'll go back up. So that's what I got for now. Big picture. Either this is going to be here or there, and what I have is if the bottom is that, then where is it? Need to. So I did this. Okay. So that's a reversal on the way down. So the 0.786, the points. Okay, let's do this for a sec. That's our box. 0.618 is probably a good picture like that. we've got this major fib level. This might be the case where we get the bottom. If that's the bottom, the 618 is the resistance, so we can potentially do that as a trend line, resistance trend line. That's one scenario where we find pretty much 860 as the bottom. The other worst case scenario is one more down, which is in 500. So I think I will go with this for the time being, which is the 618 level. How do I get that 618? It's pretty much swing high, swing low, swing high, and that's a Fibonacci on the way down. Let me see one more thing. Yep. 618 is a nice level for support, and we can see the confluence along here. Previous resistance, support, resistance. If we get those moving averages out of the way and have a quick look on the previous high, you can see how this level on the 5-day chart, this level acts as resistance and support, resistance. So that has confluence with the 618 level from the downward perspective. So it does fit into the narrative. Do we get this capitulation here? Is yet to be seen. I don't think it will come that much. The RSIs will give us a hand. We want to see a reversal. The best part of this is, all right, we've got the 5-day line. The 5-day might not be the case. Might find a bounce. So let's have a look at the 3-day. See if it does give us a different perspective. The 3-day seems like I already had it. So the 3-day, no, that's not the 3-day. Is that the weekly? Yeah, that's the weekly trend line I have. The weekly down there, almost there as well. The daily, can the daily help us? Not really. I like the 3-day. We have that bottom. If you look at the 3-day here, we did break it a few times, so realistically can't use that one. We have that channel. Really, there was a bit of a channel there. So when we break that structure, and this is a tight structure, not really easy on this one. It's not as good as that. One more indicator could probably help us. Just a sec. More stochastic. So the stochastic's reversed with the stochastic over here. Okay, so we had that stochastic here as well. Did a reversal, bounced, found out, okay. So this is pretty much bearish at the moment, pointing downwards on the 3-day. Okay, let's look at the 5-day. Yeah, so the stochastic, there is no bullish divergence yet. And we can see that previously the bottom was about, yeah, so still pretty bearish. And the last indicator I want to put on is the Phoenix that I have. So Phoenix, this is the 5-day. We've got a crossover, and the momentum is not really there yet. The weekly still not crossed over, so it's still downward pressure, nowhere near. What we want to see is this orange component or the momentum going above 50%. Historically, we've seen And if we look at the 50, the weekly, every time it goes above 50%, we have a change in direction, momentum. So if I would look at above 50%, let's see around here, that was a change of 50%, and that's a pretty much strong week. And you can see how the momentum has gone to the upside. We are on the bottom side at the moment. We need to see change in direction. The COVID scenario, 50% was there. So we had we had a few weeks of a reversal, and then we had the momentum. So this on the weekly comes in handy. First things first, we want to see this crossover. So that tells me that we're still nowhere near a reversal, not on a weekly. And if we do the 3-day, 3 days seems to be coming down as well. So there is no reversal at the moment. That's what I got, guys. It's hypothesis, looking at the past, looking at what we can leverage from, moving averages, fib levels. Hopefully it's not too confusing. It is a technical review, technical analysis review. It's not for the simple-hearted. If I was to dumbify it, you just need to know your Fibonacci's. Okay, so there is a few bullish, bearish candle, bullish candles or reversal. My interest is there. We've got to see a few more 4-hour candles. Look for that kind of formation or that kind of formation to find a good entry, and then take it from there. All right, thanks, guys. I'll leave it at that. Hopefully, it helps you out. If you've got any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I'll move on. But give me a minute. I'll give you guys a minute to ask any questions. While I'm there, have a look at this. What is it? In my profile, I think it was ideas. Yeah. Check out this one here. It talks about timeframes, and if you want to learn something with Fibonacci, do this one here. Important business update. Look at that in terms of learning the fib pans, and we can see here really it's all red. Like, you got to be bearish, right? Weakness. There's actually a green candle there, or green one. Flamingo. This is a wick-off structure. Actually, this also talks about this structure. We are here. We are dropping to close to a reversal pattern. So we've still got a bit more to go. And time to hang up the boots. I don't see any questions. So all the best, and I'll talk to you soon. Cheers.